Greetings, friends. Welcome to our circle meditation for the common good. Today is the last day of the 5 days periods of the Aquarius festival. And we work with energies of this higher tide of hierarchical alignment to bring our group focus to the topic that's been selected for the new cycle, Aquarius-Pisces cycle. The world group in right relations, vertically and horizontally, is doing its destined work. We will be holding this topic for the next 2 weeks till the new moon in Pisces, reflecting and sharing our impressions, forming the seeds that we will offer into the group chalice to be magnetized with the power of our group meditation at the time of the new moon and radiated to humanity to lead and inspire thinkers of the world. As always, we start our work by sounding the statement of purpose. And following our ritual, I invite Brigitte to voice our purpose.
Greetings. Our purpose is to magnetize the ideas of common good, freedom, and brotherhood as the highest values of humanity at this time. We recognize and cherish diversity of perspectives in our group, creating a space capable of invoking, receiving, interpreting, and radiating a higher synthetic vision. We serve as an ceramic outpost, building a group bridge of Buddhic energy. We evoke the soul of humanity. We envision humanity as being the seed that is flowering. We prepare the way for the reappearance of the coming one. And over to you, Tracy.
Thanks, Brigitte. Thank you for everyone for being here today. And in our usual format, I'm going to now read the seed thoughts, which we had a total of 10 seed thoughts that came in from our first quarter moon meeting. So that's what we choose our topic or create our topic from, are these 10 seed thoughts. Thought number 1. To be a transmitter of energy. Number 2, accepting from above and giving to below. Number 3, let us be a center of expressed light, both vertically and horizontally. Number 4, accepting our individual and group karma by taking right position in the wider scheme of things. Number 5, spiritual power through harmlessness in action. Number 6, just do the work. Number 7. Let the group express the quality of a hidden vision. Number 8. Group consciousness expanded, serving hierarchical and shambolic goals. Number 9. The work of the new group of world servers is inclusive of all Earth life. And the final seed thought, groups becoming Christed and transmitting light to the lower kingdoms, rising them up into the heavens. And now as we move forward, I'm going to hand it over to Lynn, who has graciously offered to focalize this cycle for our group. So over to you, Lynn, for the meditation today.
Thank you, Tracy and Alexander. I'm going to start us with a poem by Molly Remmer. Now we slip between times, the still point where silence descends. We honor the nameless and persist in building the web, hands extended, eyes alight, bodies worn, but still standing here together. It is time to weave new stories from the bones of old and forgotten things, mixing them with the golden seeds of possibility and the flares of inspiration, touching this moment of now. Let us sense the warmth of our hearts as we link together. Holding our chalice up, we invoke the impressions and energies which will guide and support the common good of humanity and the planet at this time. Our intention is to be of service, assisting human and planetary life and activity as we focus together as a group in preparation to receive higher thoughts, impressions, and energies that will later be distributed at the time of the new moon. Let's begin now by aligning to our heart, our ajna, and our soul. From here, we align with the group heart, the group ajna, and the group soul, also the group antakarana. Let's connect now with the hierarchy and all the unseen beings and souls who aid our invocation and evocation efforts on behalf of our service to humanity and all planetary life. We lead our minds and group mind into quiet receptivity to hierarchical energies, ideas, and impressions that are especially available to us during the full moon tide at this time, and especially so because of the February planetary alignment. Our work will receive even more energetic support. As we work across this month, from the full moon in Aquarius to the new moon in Pisces, we become receptive to and aware of the energies available that will assist our work. Now we come to the final setting in our transformational journey around the zodiac, Pisces, the journey of soul as captive of the personality to the personality as captive of the soul, and finally return to the originating monad. Early Piscean experience on the mutable cross offers the opportunity of earth life and return to the three lower worlds again and again on the karmic wheel. Then, as we know, after many lifetimes, soul light shines strongly enough that an awakening occurs, and we step onto the reversed wheel. The fixed cross guides our experience to the selfless outward flow of love and service in Aquarius. Finally, the path of earth life brings us back again to Pisces and the end of the need for experience in the lower worlds. Looking away even from the soul, we turn toward the monad and attempt to align with the lords of will and sacrifice who, animated by ceaseless, persevering devotion, work to redeem matter and raise all lives. The final goal is reached in Pisces when we transition from becoming to being, and from working to serve to being service itself. By means of Pisces ruling planets Jupiter and Pluto, bringing in the energies of rays 1 and 2 and the influence of the mutable cross, opportunity is provided for complete fusion of love and mind. Venus is exalted in Pisces, and at the end of the greater cycle, the sons of God, who are the sons of mind, are raised up into glory through experience and crucifixion, because they have learned to love and truly reason. In this atmosphere, let us now connect with our topic for this month. The world group in right relations, vertically and horizontally, is doing its destined work. Again, the world group in right relations, vertically and horizontally, is doing its destined work. Let's pause and reflect. As we deepen our contemplation on our topic, let us pause and ponder the following questions. I may have overdone these, so hopefully, though, people will have lots of ideas from this material. As we stand on the cusp of the Aquarian age, knowing that there are no rigid lines of demarcation separating two entirely different areas of experience and consciousness, how do we, in alignment with the plan and hierarchical guidance, bring forth the best of Piscean influence adapt it to Aquarian consciousness and priorities, and bring forth a new vision for humanity. Using these energies, what new ideas call out the future of humanity at this time of change and transition to help the soul of humanity express itself more freely? Number 2, what can we do as individuals and as a group to stimulate balance between positive and negative poles on both vertical and horizontal planes to bring in light through the middle way? Question 3. Placed at the end of the zodiac, Pisces is often associated with finality and death. We are told that Pisces unfolds the significance, activity, and beauty of death and the work of the destroyer. What is meant by this, and by the phrase escape through death, used in the teachings in esoteric astrology about Pisces? What is the importance of cycles, and how does this aspect of Piscean energy relate to cycles and aid in the flowering of the plan? Finally, as mediators able to relate the highest and lowest expressions of divinity, how can we help with the unfoldment of mass consciousness of all the kingdoms of nature into the group consciousness of the three higher kingdoms? How is the downflow of spiritual energy experienced in other kingdoms, and what is its influence? Are there protections necessary for them and for us when working together with Devic energy and with form life in the lower kingdoms? How do we help synthesize all aspects of earth life to bring about a unified transcendence to a new level of being? It is time now to return from our deep pondering. As we draw together the impressions from our contemplation, let us allow them to take form. They may come to us as words, as pictures, symbols, sounds, or colors. Drawing our impressions together, we now rest in silence for a few moments. We see our impressions flowing together into the group heart, filling our chalice and vitalizing it with radiant light, enhancing its beauty and the wisdom of its tone. Together, we direct this light upward to the hierarchy and await their blessings upon it. And now, realizing our invocation today, we witness its radiance pouring downward from our chalice into the lower planes, stimulating all receptive hearts and minds. To aid in grounding the energies we have invoked, let us sound the great invocation. Anyone who would like to join me, please unmute. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call humanity, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. As we close our meditation, let us identify with the soul in all and apply our efforts in accordance with divine will. We send forth the results of our efforts, the thoughts, love, and energy of our group's work in order to help humanity and our entire earth in all its diversity and ultimate unity through its transformational journey into the sacred. We focus our energy through our group ajna, sending the light out to higher beings, to other spiritual groups, to the soul of humanity, and to all sentient beings as we assist the forces of light. Om. 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 Thank you all.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, everyone. Let us hold a few more moments in silence to write down our impressions before we open our sharing time together. Also, remember that we have the Community Impressions Board available on the 2025initiative.org website. So you can also add whatever you would like for this cycle as we prepare for the evocation at the time of the new moon.
We open now our group space for sharing impressions that came in response to our invocation. When you're ready, please unmute yourself, and as we receive each impressions, let's hold the focus on the group chalice, the group heart, recognizing the most resonant ideas, allowing them to be held in the focus of group.
This is Annette. When you read the third questions, I got the impressions of the sign of Pisces on some old zodiacs, probably from when there were only 10 signs in the zodiac ages ago, with a ram with a fish tail. And I thought it was a very good picture for the third question, because we take all the best from the back part, the bone of the Pisces age, Piscean age, with us to the Aquarian age, to the new age, and clothing it in the energy of Aquarius, with freedom, brotherhood, and I think we need to save all the best ideals we have collected in the Piscean age, but perhaps not perfected in the manifestation of it, as we see in many of the isms that we have perceived, but which humanity is not mature enough to give the right ideal image yet. But the Aquarian age is where humanity will enter the more mental perspective, where now in the Piscean age we are more astral oriented and thinking with the feelings and the power from that. And we need to move forward to the mental plane. Thank you.
Yeah, I was looking at question 4, and these questions had quite a lot of pondering we could do, that's for sure. And I narrowed it down to unified transcendence comes when we are all kingdoms, all nature, all of us, all that is, share our light freely with each other. And this influences, of course, all of us, all kingdoms. We are all one, all on the path of evolution at this time. So we are all just sharing this venture. And by doing this together, living this life together, these lives together as we do, even in the different kingdoms, as we share our light, we attract the higher beings and their assistance. Like the moth or whatever, are attracted to the light, things are attracted to the light, and the greater beings notice us more, I think, as an entire unit, being on this planet Earth, all its kingdoms, um, our struggles and our wins, against the struggling as we win, and death, as we were talking about death. Death is the end of the cycle. So it frees, we're all in this rhythm and cycle of birth, life, and death. And the death is what frees all of us to conserve energy, to give to the soul, so the soul can create newer and better instruments, to manifest at higher levels. So I guess that would be kind of included on question 3 there about the death. And that's what I have. Thanks.
One of the impressions that came about the Piscean age and what is the main lesson or the main quality that comes as the major influence for mass consciousness is the quality of love. We know that Pisces is one of the signs forming the triangle of the second ray, and the message of the Piscean avatar, Christ, was love. It was the quintessential idea, quintessential quality that we as humanity have been learning for the last 2000 years. And now, as we come into the Aquarian age, we know that it's unheard thing, as that's the same identity, the same soul will come as the avatar second time in a row. The avatar of the Aquarian age will be the same great soul standing in the position of the Christ. And my sense, that my recognition in this meditation was that it's the same quality of love that will be in focus for us, but on much more practical level, manifesting as the idea of brotherhood, which is very practical and very down to earth. So the same idea of love that's been brought 2,000 years ago will be in focus for humanity. And I think now we can recognize in the world affairs is the idea of brotherhood becomes one of the main challenges that challenges the national selfishness of so many nations. Recognition of unity as not an abstract concept, but very down to earth need to express, manifest brotherhood as support for each other, as sharing. So that's my main impression so far.
I have to add about this question about the death. So this is a very particular death in to me it is the death of the connection between this bond. So this death that's liberating. So this bond where between the matter and the spirit, the soul that's being bonded is released. And whatever can get to the level of the soul is released. And instead of this deadening bond, we shift in Pisces to the level of the spiritual connection. That still allows the form to connect, but out of the free will, out of free inspiration. So one bond is broken and the true connection is established. And whatever can live in this level of connection through the spiritual principles and under the law of freedom goes next into Aries. And the next cycle moves again. So this energy, the destroyer, that breaks the bond, that captivates us as souls, releases the soul from this sacrifice that's been done in Cancer. And we incarnate into form. And not necessarily physical form. So this level, this focus on this shift from deadening bond to spiritual connection, I think that is the main aspect in Pisces. And then, it happens through love. The sacrifice that's being made towards the baskets of the blind lives is done through love, through acceptance of the fact that we are one. And when we rise, we lift the others. So I think the Piscean energy relates to cycle in a way that it ends the cycle and shifts it to the next level. So it becomes a spiral. Thank you, over.
Thank you, Lynn, for your presentation. I think I found it a little bit beyond me, but I've written a few things down that have come to mind. For question 1, I've put, this is the time that we leave the halls of learning and begin our life of service by listening to hierarchy above and relaying the information in an understandable way to humanity. And for 2, I've put that we can steer away from extremes because we are not meant to be extremists. We're meant to take the middle road, the middle path. And for 3, I've put the death of personality is an escape. We're now ready for the life of service to aid the birth and life of the new age. And number 4, I've put that I have read that it will take time to establish a working relationship with the Devas, and we will have to be careful that we do it with due care and attention. That's it, thanks.
Thank you, Jill. I think you were right in tune. I think maybe a couple of those quotes I took from esoteric astrology might be a little challenging for all of us. But it seemed important to add that in. I think I agree with you that the middle way is important as we bring in the Aquarian age, in that as Alexandra was saying, how to put this? Well, I think as he was saying, we need to not forget the deep love, but in bringing forth the mental aspect, we will be using our minds to balance as we seek solutions to challenges that we face. Balance will become very important. The middle way will become very important. And we can see it now in the lack of balance, as you said, Jill, between the extremes in opinions and understanding, and especially in the aggressive expression of divergent ideas, which actually should be handled together in a middle way fashion, because mostly the people, at least here in the USA, most of the people want basically the same things if you look deeply enough, but are unable to hear each other when they speak. And then try to leap to extremes because of lack of understanding and lack of compassion. We see it now where government is trying to leap to extremes to solve problems rather than everyone working together to find logical, insightful solutions to the problems. I think that's what I have for now. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. I wasn't criticising in any way. I was just sort of pointing out that I'm probably not taking it in properly and dealing with it properly.
Cut it out. You do a great job.
When I think about the second question, I see you can say two different levels how you can see and recognize this question. One is related to the middle point and recognizing the polarities. Another one, more, I would say, esoteric level where um, positive and negative poles are not as good and bad. But as in the magnet where there's a positive and there is negative, which allow the energy to circulate. And positive, it's radiatory, and negative, it's receptive. And so, if thinking about our topic of the world group standing in right relationships horizontally and vertically, I think it's a very important question to consider, finding this balance that allows the energy to flow from the positive pole in Shambhala to the negative pole in the in humanity, being receptive. The same, you can see that principle working between any points of radiatory and receptive. It's that's how the astrology works, through triangles where there is a positive, there is negative, and neutral points. So I think it's an important aspect of Aquarian wisdom, recognizing the flow of energy and positioning oneself in the right balance, that the actual energy would flow.
I'd like to follow up on that because it really was question 2 that held me in thinking, because it's something that I've been holding for a while. How do you go from harmony and conflict, those two that are opposed? Where is that middle point? Chaos and beauty, where is that middle point? And is it really a middle point? And so as I've been thinking about them, those opposites, I've been looking at the idea of fusion and synthesis rather than a middle point. And I had this vision of being at the top of a mountain
and you can call it Capricorn if you will. And through receiving, there was the energetic flow, which was Aquarius, and it was seeping down into all of the ruts. And it struck me that what is between chaos and beauty, what is between harmony and conflict, to get the synthesis, you really have to have an infusion of soul light. And I saw that light going where there was an opening. But as it went through the opening, it was infusion itself that moved from the cracks filled up with light to the infusion into the substance. And for me, that was true synthesis. It was a blending so that there were no longer polar opposites, but that there was a flow through fusion. So it was a different way of thinking about how do you take the energy of synthesis? How do you really use the energy of will? And in what way can you infuse it actually into the matters, as opposed to saying that there was a middle point? So that really the axis is the flow of infusion. Thank you.
In terms of that and the head of the screen, horizontally and vertically, we are trying to position ourselves in the middle of the zodiac. There we have fusion and synthesis and the soul. Thank you.
Thinking of the vertical line, we've been speaking more in our group for a while about will than we did at first. And Pisces definitely has to do with sacrifice, which can be a sort of off-putting word at the personality level, at least. And I think I appreciate, Judy, everything you said, and I think I agree with you. I think, though, also we're talking about fusion, too, in the sense of, well, when I think of sacrifice, the way that I seem to be able to relate to it is just not my will, but thine be done, that sort of way, where we become, as Pisces describes, we become more and more who we truly are, that higher self, and then our will becomes the divine will, and we sacrifice that separateness, that idea of separateness, separative personality. We're talking about becoming one with, of course, the greater beingness. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, friends, and thank you, Lynn, for focusing the group meditation in this cycle. Those are very voluminous questions and a lot to hold for us. So let us continue holding this group focus on the topic of this cycle, this Aquarius-Pisces cycle. The world group in right relations, vertically and horizontally, is doing its destined work. We will meet again in our group circle next Thursday, February 20th. So please mark your calendars. We will have a chance to continue reflecting and sharing our impressions, preparing for the work of group magic at the time of the new moon. And as we are preparing now to close our work today, I invite if anyone would like to sound a mantra of your choice to close the meeting today.
I can do that, Alexander. As long as you can hear me well, my audio seems to be coming in and out. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is called The Pattern on the Trestle Board by Paul Foster Case. This is the truth about the self. All the power that ever was or will be is here now. We are centers of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. Through us, its unfailing wisdom takes form in thought and word. Filled with understanding of its perfect law, we are guided moment by moment along the path of liberation. From the exhaustless riches of its limitless substance, we draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. We recognize the manifestation of the undeviating justice in all the circumstances of our lives. In all things great and small, we see the beauty of the divine expression. Living from that will, supported by its unfailing wisdom and understanding, ours is the victorious life. We look forward with confidence to the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless light. In thought and word and deed, we rest our lives from day to day upon the sure foundation of eternal being. The kingdom of spirit is embodied in our flesh.